mysterious scientist named Dr. Voyen has created a strange experiment where he'll give couples $5 million if they can stay in a perfectly clean white room for 50 days. If either person leaves early, they only get $1 million. There's no way to contact anyone outside, no TV, no phones, no books, nothing to keep them busy except each other. But they can buy special treats using some of the prize money. Today's couple is Mike and Kate, and they both think this is going to be super easy. Mike feels like they hit the jackpot finding this opportunity, and Kate thinks of it as the fresh start they both need. But Kate suggests maybe they should agree to split the money now to avoid problems later. She plans to invest her share wisely, which Mike thinks sounds incredibly dull. He's dreaming about partying and living the high life without ever worrying about money again. After listening to a computer voice explain all the rules, they look around and realize the room really is spotless. Everything is white, the walls, the floor, everything. The only furniture is a bed and a bench. There's a basic bathroom that only one person can use at a time, a red button they can push if they want to quit, a touch screen where they can order treats, and a huge clock over the exit door, counting down how much time they have left. Their meals are designed to give them all the nutrition they need, but it's just a tasteless white drink that comes in a white box. The room has automatic lights that change throughout the day to show morning, afternoon, evening, and nighttime. And when it gets dark, that's their signal to go to sleep. The touchscreen lets them set an alarm, and while Mike plans to treat this like a vacation and sleep in, Kate sets an early alarm because she wants to keep some kind of normal schedule. On their first night in bed, Mike tries to get intimate with Kate, but she's worried that the professor might be watching them. Mike keeps pushing though, so they end up doing it quietly under the blankets. The next morning, Kate goes into the bathroom, looks at herself in the mirror, and says positive things to herself to stay motivated and remember why she's doing this. After they both shower, they put their dirty clothes down a laundry chute in the bathroom, and in return, they get very basic pajamas. At least these ones have some color to them. To pass the time, Kate tries to figure out why Voyen is doing this experiment. Mike tells her about a documentary he watched about one of this guy's earlier experiments that ended badly for a working class family. Nobody really knows why Voyen does these things, just that he's super rich and likes putting people in weird situations because he's fascinated by human behavior. Finding ways to stay busy becomes harder than they expected. Kate likes to meditate while Mike sometimes just stares at the clock. He also goes on long rants about random things like what the color white means, using all his art school knowledge, or which direction they should brush their teeth. Kate always tells him to stop watching the clock and focus on the prize, but it's tough to stay positive when Mike can't even sleep well. Kate sticks to her routine of saying positive affirmations and making the bed every day. She also tries to keep Mike's spirits up. While Kate meditates, Mike exercises, mostly by running around the room. Together, they play hand games, Marco Polo, or Just Dance. Every time they put their dirty pajamas in the chute, they get back another pair that looks exactly the same. A few weeks go by when something different finally happens. Mike discovers a tiny bug that somehow got into the room. After talking to it in a baby voice, Mike tries to feed it some of their meal drink, but as soon as he pours a few drops on the floor, the computer voice warns them that food can only be eaten by the contestants. Worried the bug will die in here, Mike asks for some way to let the little creature out, promising he doesn't want to leave himself. Kate explains that the speaker the computer voice comes from doesn't work both ways. She's already tried talking to it, so Mike decides he's going to push the button to open the door. This starts a huge fight because Kate is certain that pushing the button will make them lose, even if Mike doesn't actually leave and just sticks his hand out for a stupid bug. After putting the insect down, Mike tells Kate the bug is a living creature and she has no compassion. Kate fires back, accusing him of being condescending because she's not vegan like he is. As they argue louder, Kate finally admits she thinks Mike is only vegan because he wants to annoy his rich dad. His father gave Mike everything he ever needed, so he never struggled, and now he wants to act like some struggling artist with street credibility. Kate tries to walk away from the fight, but she accidentally steps on the bug. Mike has a hard time believing her when she says it was an accident and apologizes. Mike spends the rest of the day sitting alone in a corner until he finally decides he's had enough. Doing nothing is just unhealthy. Since they can each request 2 treats, Mike is going to ask for one, even though it'll cost them $100,000 from their prize. Kate doesn't like it, but Mike doesn't need her permission, and his treat turns out to be a single green crayon. It's not much, but at least now Mike can draw art on the walls. After watching him draw for a while, Kate asks him to draw her, and Mike agrees. But he refuses to do realistic portraits because he finds them boring. He prefers his own style. This makes Kate not want to pose for him anymore. Mike keeps drawing until the crayon is completely used up, which annoys Kate when he leaves green smudges all over the bathroom and drops the towel on the floor. Later, Kate apologizes for acting like a jerk and explains this is harder than she thought, but at least they only have 20 days left. The days keep dragging by until one morning when Kate wakes up and finds a gun in the bathroom. They're too afraid to check if it's loaded, and having it there is creepy, so they hide it under the bed since the computer won't let them put anything except clothes down the laundry chute. Sometime later, the couple finally gets connection time, which means they'll see messages sent by their loved ones. Mike gets a message from his sister who updates him on how she and their parents are doing, but she also seems to think Mike and Kate aren't dating anymore. Seeing his sister makes Mike really happy, but Kate doesn't want her own connection and panics when the screen starts playing a video of her dad, who is finally off the streets and living in a homeless shelter. The video won't stop stop no matter how much she begs, so Kate runs to hide behind the bathroom entrance and cries. Mike comes over to comfort her. After sleeping while clinging desperately to her boyfriend, Kate doesn't get up when the alarm goes off in the morning and stays in bed all day because she's fallen into depression. When Mike says he's worried, Kate tells him she hadn't seen her father in years and always lied to Mike about who he was because she was ashamed of her dad and how he drank away their house, her school money, and her chances of having a normal childhood. With just over 2 weeks left, Kate continues to stay in bed while Mike tries to find new ways to keep himself busy, like smudging his crayon drawings with his fingers or reading the pajama label with different emotions like those acting exercises. He tries to get Kate to eat by making jokes about the food, but it doesn't work, so he ends up joining her in bed hoping to comfort her. It still doesn't help, and sometimes Mike sleeps on the floor just to feel something different. One morning, he tries to convince Kate to take a treat, but she refuses to lose that money. Getting more and more frustrated, Mike says he isn't sure he can do this anymore, and that finally gets Kate out of bed. But before she showers, she tells Mike to take his second treat, even though it costs $250,000. Mike does it and is shocked when the door opens and a naked woman named Simone walks into the room. She doesn't know anything about the project. She's just an actress getting paid for a job that required signing a bunch of confidentiality agreements. While she was booked for a month, her agent said she'd probably only stay for 24 hours. Kate really doesn't like having her there and makes Mike give Simone his t-shirt so she can cover up at least a little bit. Simone notices Mike's art and compliments it, even recognizing the artistic influences, which annoys Kate even more. When nighttime comes, Mike offers to sleep on the floor while the girls take the bed, and Simone offers to stay awake while they sleep. Kate is irritated by their polite gestures and decides they can all share the bed as long as she sleeps in the middle. That night, Kate is the one who can't sleep. In the morning, Kate doesn't find Simone in bed and thinks she's left, but actually, she's just in the bathroom. Unable to take it anymore, Kate decides to take a treat and gets a small box with 3 fun candies. Kate immediately takes one and offers one to Simone, but Mike only accepts one after hesitating a lot. The 3 of them start dancing and moving wildly around the room, and they also share some group kisses. But after a while, Mike starts having a bad reaction, seeing blood everywhere and dreaming he's underwater while watching his younger brother fall with him. The women bring Mike back to reality, but he's still panicking and begging to leave while talking about someone named Sean and drowning. Kate has to pull him back to bed and comfort him until he falls asleep. Afterwards, Simone asks what Mike was talking about, and Kate tells her that Mike's little brother Sean drowned in the family pool while Mike was supposed to be watching him, which still makes him feel guilty to this day. Mike had been high when it happened, which makes it worse and explains why he hesitated to take the candy. Simone also asks how they met, and Kate remembers sweetly how on a rainy day when she didn't have an umbrella, Mike came up to her and offered to catch all the raindrops so she wouldn't get wet. When Mike finally wakes up, Simone shares that she lost her mother when she was young, and the two of them connect over their grief and lost loved ones. Simone takes Mike's hand to comfort him, and when Kate sees this, she freaks out, thinking Simone is trying to steal her boyfriend. Simone calls her out on her attitude, pointing out that Kate lashes out because she's actually insecure, which starts another argument. Mike yells at them to stop before walking away, so Kate tries to apologize, admitting it was probably nothing that she saw. But Simone stirs things up by saying maybe it wasn't nothing. The next morning, Mike isn't feeling good, but Kate is focused on something else. Simone is finally gone, but there's also a message from her written on the wall in green crayon, thanking Mike for a wild night. Kate loses it, not listening to Mike when he explains he didn't do anything, and this is like the gun, something the room is doing to mess with them. In her anger, Kate pushes Mike to the floor, making him hit his head and bleed. Mike backs away from her, reminding her that he never cheated on her even when she moved to New York. He also stopped seeing his so-called rich friends so she wouldn't feel uncomfortable, and he didn't finish college to stay home with her when she was depressed. Yet, all he gets back is jealousy. Crying, Kate keeps apologizing, but their conversation gets cut off when Mike starts feeling dizzy from the wound. He really thinks he needs a doctor, but Kate brings him some of the meal drinks so he can get some sugar in his system and covers his wound with a towel, reminding Mike that the contract said they don't get medical help. Mike can't believe what he's hearing and starts wondering if Kate really cares about him. His wound turns out to be small and eventually stops bleeding, but he's scared of how far she would have gone if it had been worse. Maybe she would have let him bleed just for the money. Hating what this place has done to them and realizing money isn't going to fix how broken they really are, Mike decides to leave and invites Kate to come with him. Kate refuses though, pointing out it's easy for him to talk like this because he's always had money. She even picks up the gun to threaten him into staying, but Mike ignores her and presses the button, finally leaving the room just a few days before they would have won. After a lot of lying around and freaking out in the shower, Kate sees the raindrop drawing on the wall, which makes her walk over to the button too and think about her choices with only 2 days left. Many months later, Mike is now single and out for a run when he sees Kate coming out of a building. They haven't seen each other since the room and decide to go for a walk to talk and catch up. But when Mike asks Kate if she left the room or stayed to win, she avoids answering the question. At least she does apologize for what happened. As they walk away, the building is shown to be the homeless shelter, and there's a sign saying an anonymous donation paid for them to build a new kitchen. Meanwhile, back in the immaculate white room, a new couple arrives to take on the challenge. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.